Welcome to today's Explainer. We are stepping into the incredibly rich, totally wild lore of the Skull Towns universe today. If you're fascinated by stories where ancient, devastating curses crash headfirst into the modern world, well, you're absolutely in for a treat. Today, we're breaking down a massive, pivotal arc in this saga. We're going to map out exactly how a centuries-old evil was accidentally unleashed, the dark magic powering the whole thing, and how this fictional universe cleverly intertwines with real-world events. So let's jump right in.
To really set the mood, let's kick things off with this chilling quote from our primary antagonist, Queen Damayanti. She promises, "I will take a revenge that will terrify even death." I mean, wow. That is not just a casual threat, right? It immediately establishes a frantic, high-stakes tone right out of the gate. She's been waiting in the dark for a very long time, and her anger has only festered. But how exactly did she get out?
Well, it's a classic case of a tragic cause and effect cascade. You know how sometimes you try to fix a problem and just make it infinitely worse? That's exactly what happens here. Step 1. Our hero Meghna, who, by the way, is the reincarnated Princess Meghalaya, enters a cave with the noble intention of stopping these terrifying creatures known as the Nishirmolo. Step 2. While sneaking around, her footprint inadvertently breaks an ancient seal. Oops. And step 3. Queen Damayanti instantly awakens from her adjacent coffin. Meghna literally woke the ultimate evil while trying to do the exact right thing.
Which brings us to Section 1, Reclaiming the Royal Palace. The moment Damayanti is awake, the entire game board completely changes. She doesn't just wander around aimlessly. She is a calculating, strategic queen. Her very first move? Reclaiming her domain. For centuries, the royal palace stood as this dormant, abandoned ancient ruin. But the literal second she returns and sits on her ancient throne, the entire structure transforms in a heartbeat. It goes from a pile of crumbling rubble into a magically illuminated, glowing seat of dark power.
Now you might be wondering, why this specific building? Why does Damayanti haunt the palace instead of somewhere else? The answer lies in something called the Kriya Bandhan. The palace isn't just a spooky building for atmosphere, it's actually a massive magical battery. Through the dark magic of Kriya Bandhan, a soul is permanently tethered to this specific location. It's designed to constantly generate and amplify dark power for Damayanti, even while she was dead.
And every battery needs a power source, right? Enter Virendra. He's a fiercely loyal, cloaked priest with darkened skin who has been trapped inside this palace for 400 years. His one and only purpose during those 4 centuries of total isolation was to fuel Damayanti's magical battery. And as a reward for this unimaginable dedication, upon her awakening, Damayanti grants him immortality for 600 more years, just so he can act as her terrifying enforcer in the outside world.
So, let's move into Section 2, a ritual of poison.
While Damayanti is consolidating her power, our heroes, Tantrik Maharaj, Rishathar Baba, Anuj, Ishita, and Meghna are desperately trying to figure out her next move. Through a meditative vision, the mystics realize something horrific is brewing. The biological scale of this is absolutely mind-blowing. Her ritual doesn't just rely on magic, it uses nature itself. She magnetically summons millions of venomous and ominous creatures to her cave. We're talking equal parts bats, crows, snakes, and scorpions. These aren't just creepy animals, they are the raw biological ingredients for a curse of unprecedented scale.
When our heroes finally rush to the cave to stop her, they are met with a devastating taunt. Damayanti looks directly at Meghna and challenges her, saying, "400 years ago you saved the kingdom. Now, the whole of India will drown in an epidemic." She's explicitly mocking Meghna's past life, where she used a legendary potion called Mrityunjay Amrit to save her people. Damayanti is basically promising a threat so vast that no ancient potion will ever be enough to stop it.
And she immediately makes good on that promise. A highly venomous, choking black smoke violently erupts from the magical fire in the cave. Our heroes immediately start suffocating. They're only saved because Anuja's uncle rescues them and administers that very same ancient Mrityunjay Amrit potion. However, while the heroes survive the immediate blast, the black, virus-laden smoke escapes the cave and disperses right into the open sky.
This brings us to Section 3, Unleashing a Modern Pandemic.
Now, from an objective storytelling perspective, this is where the creators of the Skull Towns lore do something incredibly ambitious. They directly map their fantasy narrative onto objective, real-world historical events. We see a fictional escalation of Damayanti's venomous smoke turning into a highly contagious respiratory virus. In the story's timeline, throughout January and February of 2020, mysterious cases start to multiply. By mid-March, the virus spreads with unstoppable speed, finally culminating in the exact real-world dates of March 25th to April 14th, 2020, a nationwide lockdown is announced in India.
It's a fascinating dual narrative. Just to be completely neutral here, on one side, we have the reality we all lived through, a global pandemic driven by scientific viral transmission. On the other side, the Skull Town's lore frames this exact same chronological event as the apocalyptic climax of Damayanti's 400-year-old revenge plot, born entirely from the magical venom of summoned bats and snakes. The story universe uses the very real 2020 coronavirus lockdown as the devastating result of this ancient curse, seamlessly weaving real history into its dark fantasy.
Let's pick the pace back up with Section 4, Return of the Nishir Molo.
With the entire country locked down and our heroes pushed to the brink of desperation, the story ramps up into an absolutely frantic climax. The safety of their isolation is completely shattered. Virendra, Damayanti's 400-year-old immortal servant, violently ambushes Tantric Maharaj right at the Mukhia's house. It's a terrifying scene. Virendra physically overpowers the mystic, dragging him away toward the dark world, while Queen Damayanti watches the entire assault unfold from afar through her magical vision.
But then we get a massive plot twist. Out of the pitch black, completely blocking Virendra's path, the dreaded Nishir Morlos suddenly appear. Yes, the terrifying creatures with glowing red eyes that Meghna originally went into the cave to destroy in the first place. The very monsters of the past have stepped right into the middle of this kidnapping. And you won't believe what happens next. It's a stunning rescue that defies all expectations. A magical coffin suddenly appears out of nowhere and opens up, emitting blinding golden light. The light acts almost like a tractor beam, violently dragging the immortal servant Virendra inside and sealing him away. This incredible intervention saves Tantric Maharaj's life, but it leaves Queen Damayanti absolutely furious at the sudden loss of her most powerful pawn.
Which leaves us staring at this final, incredibly crucial question. With her enforcer gone, but her viral revenge sweeping across the nation, what is Damayanti's next move? And more importantly, the Nishir Molo, the original monsters of this entire lore, just inadvertently saved our heroes. But are they actually here to save them, or will they ultimately be the ones to destroy them? It's a brilliant cliffhanger that completely flips the lore on its head. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep questioning the shadows.